Alright, let's drop straight into it. For strangers grabbed my wife on our doorstep last Tuesday while I was stuck at work. They had no idea what they just triggered. My wife isn't helpless, and our two family dogs, well, they're not your ordinary pets. I know this sounds impossible, but trust me, I have the footage to back up every word. This is what happens when the wrong people pick the wrong family to mess with. If you're watching this, drop a comment and let me know where you're tuning in from, because you're not going to believe how this ends. My name's Blake Hamilton. I'm a high school history teacher, not exactly the guy you'd expect to find in the middle of a suburban battle zone, right? But that's what happened when our HOA president, Chloe Foster, decided to turn personal revenge into a neighborhood-wide crisis. Now, both Lily, my wife, and I were ex-military. I worked K9 units. She trained combat dogs overseas. We've got two retired service dogs, Titan and Zara, living the good life in our backyard. Most folks in our cul-de-sac think they're just really well-behaved German Shepherd and Belgian Malinois, but the truth? These dogs are a whole lot more. They're weapons-grade loyal, trained to spot threats, neutralize them, and protect their handlers like nothing else. After what happened with Chloe, I can say with my whole heart I'm grateful those dogs are family. It all kicked off 6 months ago, one of those official-looking HOA letters, taped to our front door like a warning shot. Legal language, all the bells and whistles, demanding we remove our aggressive dogs within 48 hours or face fines. But Lily, she picks up on details. She spots that the letter mentions our veteran status, something we never told anyone except our neighbor Mike across the street. And right then, we knew this wasn't just a noise complaint. This was targeted. Someone had been digging into our background. And just like that, weird stuff started. A drone buzzing our backyard, hovering for half an hour at a time, filming our property. Titan and Zara, total calm with normal neighborhood noises, would go dead still, tracking the drone with the kind of focus they once reserved for enemy surveillance. Every time I tried to see where it went, the drone zipped off toward Chloe's house. Coincidence? Not a chance. The letters kept coming. Fence violations, parking complaints, landscaping issues, all ramping up in language and threats. But the real kicker? Half the stuff she cited wasn't even in the HOA bylaws. I dug out the documents. Chloe was either making up rules or rewriting them without notice, hoping we'd just roll over. Lily went into full military intelligence mode, snapping photos of everything, building a case file thicker than my head. It was no longer neighborly drama. It was a threat assessment. Then came Derek Nash, a big guy, construction shirt, clipboard, claiming to be from the city for a compliance inspection. He demanded entry. When Lily asked for his badge number, the man turned aggressive, started trying to intimidate her. "Lady, this isn't a request," he snapped. "But Lily? She's dealt with real authority, real threats." She refused, told him to leave. And that night, I found fresh footprints and tool marks around our shed. They were testing our defenses, checking how hard it'd be to break in when we weren't home. After that, we installed motion sensors, varied our routines, and Lily started researching Chloe. Turns out, Chloe's got a background in real estate, not exactly squeaky clean. Fraud, property flips, stuff that makes you nervous just reading it. Suddenly, it all felt so much more personal. By Sunday night, Lily remembered why Chloe seemed familiar. They'd crossed paths years ago, back when Lily exposed fraud in a military housing contract overseas. Tuesday morning, here's where everything hits the fan. I'm trapped in school faculty meetings, phone on silent, totally powerless. Meanwhile, four grown men show up at our house. The genius of Chloe's plan? She timed it for when she knew I couldn't come home. She'd been studying us, tracking our schedules, and set up a perfect ambush. First text from Lily. For men at the door, claim HOA emergency. Second text, Derek has fake city papers, demanding entry. Third text, Blake, they grabbed me. Dogs activated. My stomach dropped through the floor. I bolted out, told my principal there was a family emergency, and drove home like my life depended on it, because it did. Turns out, Chloe was across the street in her car, coordinating the attack via phone. Derek had brought along Jake Wilson and Tony Clark, two hired muscle, told them it was official business, and that our dogs were aggressive. Their plan? Intimidate Lily, provoke the dogs, get them to bite, then claim self-defense on camera. Only, they had no clue what dogs activated really meant. When Jake grabbed Lily's wrist, Titan launched. Controlled takedown, nothing sloppy, just pure precision. Zara blocked the other guys, low growl, locked eyes, sending a message, try me. The whole thing took seconds. It's all on Mike's security footage. 2 dogs using only enough force to stop the threat, nothing more. When Lily called them off, they backed away, right back into guard stance. Neighbors poured out, filming from all angles. Instead of a dangerous dog attack, the footage showed 4 trespassers getting exactly what they deserved. Defensive action, nothing excessive. Even the cops saw through Derek's act the second they arrived. Deputy Carter, ex-military herself, watched the footage and went straight to business. Mr. Nash, I see assault and lawful defense here. You got something to say? Derek tried to lie his way out, but his phone, confiscated, buzzing with messages, was a goldmine. Carter scrolled through months of texts, detailed harassment plans, payments from Chloe, surveillance photos, schedules, everything. They'd been running this playbook not just on us, but across the whole neighborhood. Fake violations, escalating harassment, driving families out so Chloe could buy their houses for pennies. It wasn't just revenge, it was organized theft. As word got out, the neighborhood fractured. Some people rallied behind us. Janet from next door, Mike, Mrs. Patterson. But others? Scared, worried about property values, suggesting we just move away. Chloe went on offense, filing complaints with animal control, coaching her crew to commit perjury, claiming our dogs were out of control. Without that video evidence, we could have lost Titan and Zara forever. Animal control scheduled a behavioral assessment. If the dogs showed any protective instincts, anything, they could be seized. The legal trap was brilliant, and the week leading up to the assessment was the worst of my life. Chloe ran a propaganda campaign, showing neighbors fake, attack, photos, warning kids not to go near our house. We felt like outcasts, isolated in our own home. Friday evening, Deputy Carter called. The fraud unit found something huge. Chloe's operation wasn't just local. She'd been pulling the same scam across multiple neighborhoods, raking in over $2 million in fraudulent HOA fees and below-market property buys. Then, just as the assessment was about to doom our dogs, a twist. Tina Coleman, Chloe's own assistant, ran across the street waving a USB drive. She'd uncovered everything. Fake documents, call recordings, financial records. It was a roadmap to Chloe's empire of fraud. With that evidence, the whole house of cards came crashing down. Chloe was arrested, screaming at my dogs, blaming them for everything. The FBI took over. News crews camped outside. Our story was on every channel. Military dogs expose HOA fraud queen. But Chloe had one last card. From jail, she filed suit claiming Titan and Zara were illegal military weapons. The court hearing was set. One more fight before we could breathe easy. In court, Chloe spun wild conspiracy theories, accusing us of weapons trafficking, dogfighting, you name it. The judge wasn't buying it. The FBI confirmed our paperwork was spotless. Then came the showstopper. Lily walked Titan and Zara into the courtroom, ran them through search, guard, and crowd control commands. They worked with perfect discipline, no aggression, no tension, just pure professionalism. Even the court officers clapped. Judge Wells didn't just throw the book at Chloe. She torched her whole playbook. 8 years in federal prison, $1.2 million in restitution, and a permanent ban from any HOA or real estate activity. News headlines called her the HOA fraud queen. Neighbors started holding block parties again. Kids lined up to pet Titan and Zara. Lily launched a K9 anti-fraud program, training other retired service dogs to sniff out document forgery. But here's the real question. If 2 loyal dogs can blow the lid off a criminal enterprise just by protecting their family, what other heroes are hiding in plain sight on your street? Drop a comment. Tell me the worst thing a neighbor's ever done to your family. Or your best. Because after living through this, I believe anyone can be a hero when it matters most. Thanks for sticking with me. And next time, maybe think twice before you try to mess with the Hamiltons.